So today I've been working on this build for a little while now. For a long time. Okay, pause. I'm gonna read a chest cold open. Also, thank you, Focus Affinity, for the 29 months. Welcome back, Spikelings, to my Shark Typhoon. I'm your host, the only e-boy who cares personally for your well-being, Aspiring Spike. And today we've got a new twist on an old favorite, Ketramose. So join me today as we push past old thinking and strategically seize on the power of exiling. Enjoy this new dawn as we voidwalk towards more trophies, and don't forget to support the stream with you know the rest. Praise our new god Ketramose, cloth this, more like not this. Alright, great job in chess. You always killed those. Good to see you. Okay, so we're kind of inverting the colors here for the Ketramose archetype. Ketramose is usually a flicker-based deck that is based white with a few black cards that you're splashing for. Instead, we're doing the opposite. We're playing a black base because I've been really liking the black base. We were doing well with the Sultai Skimmer deck. The mono black Eldrazi deck is a deck I think is really well positioned. In fact, I was trying to fit K Command into this build for a little bit, but it doesn't really work. But the Eldrazi Rock build, the Sultai build, I've both been going pretty well in this Boros Prowess metagame, and I want to capitalize on that in the Ketramose build too. So instead of playing Relic of Progenitus, Solitude, Ephemerate, Felia, Flicker-Wisp, White Orchid Phantom, we're black-based, we're playing Discard Spells, and Nethergoyf, and Graveyard Trespasser, which is a card I've been really, really liking, Emperor of Bones, Dauthi Voidwalker. And, one thing about the Ketramose decks, Relic of Progenitus, not that well positioned in the format at the moment, and it's pretty awkward to play a lot of Boggart Trawlers in the white base build because you're more white based, and so having the untapped black source is awkward. In this black base build, you're happy to play the full 4 Trawlers to help enable your Ketramoses, but we also have another new card to help enable Ketramose. I don't know if any of y'all have seen. I don't know if I think someone did cast this against us in the Umori Sorceries deck, but it's a 2-mana sorcery. Target opponent exiles a creature they control, and they exile their graveyard. So this is a really nice tool to like aggressively get those graveyards exiled and enable Ketramose to be a fast attacker or blocker without having to play a lot of relics in your deck. So that you're like mass exile for Ketramose, or your Trawlers and your Betrayals to turn this on really quickly, and then you also have Dauthi Voidwalker, Emperor of Bones, and Graveyard Trespasser as and the one of Cling to Dust as extra enablers for Ketramose. And then I think it's really cool that in both the black and the white builds, all of the playable cards enable Ketramose. It's like Felia, Solitude, Ephemerate, Emperor, Voidwalker, Trespasser, Trawler. It's just like every card is so crazy. Now, I was thinking about playing Bowmaster over Dauthi Voidwalker, which I think is better against Boros and Prowess. Dauthi Voidwalker is better against all the combo decks, and it helps enable Ketramose, and in theory, we're pretty solid against those strategies anyways, so I think it's okay. Let's see, what else? I'm a big believer of the 3 Surveillance of these kind of decks. The sideboard is like still an early-ish draft. Kind of want to play one less Break the Ice. Is Betrayal draw 1 or 2 with Ketramose? I'm pretty sure it's a draw 1. That's been my experience, if I recall correctly, where everything gets exiled at once. All right, let's get in there. Have I tested Expedition 33? Yeah, I didn't play any yesterday, but me and Esther are like 5-ish hours into the game. Ooh, another black-based mirror. Yeah, Bump of the Night would have been pretty good that game. It's never going to be true Pioneer in terms of brewing. They're only going to add niche meta cards to the format like 8 months after they make waves on Moto Paper. Oh, okay, so the news of it becoming Pioneer is... they're not actually getting all of the cards still? Our opponent says, lol. After Thoughtseizing my Fatal Push. Maybe they're playing the mirror somehow? They added like 10 unique cards to bring it closer to current meta and not the whole format. Alright, so just call it a day. Hey, listen, I don't know what you want. Just add 10 cards, call it a day. So funny. So my opponent likely has removal up, although the problem is that I don't really want to play a Trawler into a Bowmaster. And also I want to Surveil, dig for Ketramose. So I want to draw one Ketramose today. Yeah, the rare Dauthi Voidwalker block. 3 black at the end of turn. This is a Dismember? A March. Okay, so we're up against Coffers then. Interesting. A Karn. A Shieldred. So obviously that's a nice pickup. Yeah, sorry, just Necro. I don't know why I'm so coffer-brained all the time. Okay, we found a Ketramose, which is great. Right now there are 5 cards in exile after I do this Emperor trigger. Two cards there. Interesting. So I get really punished for not playing my Trawler as land, but I thought if they had a removal spell, it wouldn't end up mattering that much. It does end up mattering a good bit. Don't need to be too scared of the Trespasser, though. Or should the Bowmaster. They mentioned in the article, Arena already has 98% of tournament cards already or something. Honestly, like, that's just kind of a sad number. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of, like, how many years has it been since Wizards has been trying to put Arena on, Pioneer on Arena? Has it been, take the Felder Profane. Has it been 5 years, 6 years, 7? Like, it's like 4, probably 4. 3? I feel like it's been since 2021. 3, you want to say 3 or 4? We could probably, be a bit better about getting the numbers right. In the article they said 3 years. I honestly think that that's wrong. But I may be misremembering. I don't need to be so, like, nitpicky on that, like, particular point. Like, I just don't know how they can't get it done. So I'm gonna bring in the Purge. I'm gonna bring in the Duress, and it's sad that they're still just not getting it done. They're just calling it Pioneer. It's so lazy. Pioneer was announced on the format on October 2019. So I was right about it being 6 years. Oh, I'm sorry, announced as a format. Sorry, I was wrong. But I feel like the first, like, Pioneer on Arena stuff, like, happened like, at least 2021, but it doesn't really matter that much. I might be wrong. Finks, the 40 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Explorer was introduced as a constructed format in 2022. Yeah, I thought that they wanted it on first. Obviously, again, I might be completely off about this. Okay, so High Noon is pretty good against Necro. And I am kind of weak to Necro with my current config. I don't want these Betrayals. I'm going to try the High Noon. It might be just bad. I think it's kind of a fun card to try out. I truly don't think it's a big deal. They've also committed to printing other cards to Pioneer on Arena. I mean, it just is taking so long. And I think it is a big deal. Like the fact that, like, it takes this long is it's sad. Like I don't know if, like, whoever's in charge of making these decisions understands how bad it is that the paper tournament format and the premier digital client Arena are almost in sync, but they're not in sync. I don't think they understand how lame that is and how frustrating that can be for players. I think if they did understand, I think they would have prioritized it more. And it's frustrating because, like, this just seemed like something that they should be able to get done. It just really seemed like this was something that they could get done, and the fact that they couldn't get it done and gave it up is sad. And like it's not a huge deal in the sense that it's just cards, right? It's not that serious of a thing in the context of everything else that's happening in the world, but it's a bummer. Right, I think we want to play around Necro here. Interesting that they don't Fatal Push me. I'm gonna take the Fatal Push. Grow the Goyf. They've also been deprioritizing support for Pioneer as a format lately due to lack of major tournaments. Yeah, another thing on that note too is like for the longest time, like, okay, we'll attack first. For a long time, like Pioneer was the tournament format for a long, like it was the tournament format, and like if Wizards could have had Pioneer on Arena, like there's like how much more popular would Magic have been if the tournament format was actually on Arena? Alright, so we get to take the Shieldred, probably prioritize casting that with the Dauthi Voidwalker so when they don't draw a third Fatal Push. Pioneer fell apart because they refused to curate the format for a year. Yeah, I agree that they managed it poorly. Okay, they're going to get Mirex online here. I'm going to go to crack the Bauble main phase so they don't get another Bowmaster, and I get to gain the life off the Shieldred. Okay, I'm definitely casting Shieldred. And of course, like, my criticism here is meant to be constructive. That, I've said this, I've been streaming for almost 7 years, full-time for about 6 years, and the entire time I've been streaming, I've been saying that the biggest problem with like Magic the Gathering as a game is that the player base is like really divided. That that we have Paper, Arena, and Magic Online, and most players only play on one of those in one of those ways. That it like if we could unite the digital client, and I've been saying for like 6 or 7 years that like it probably would just be best to outsource a third-party company to make a new client that is capable of holding all of the formats and taking the good elements from both. And people at the time told me, oh, that would take like 5 years. Well, look, it's like now 7 years later and we still have the same problems. I don't know. It's and I'm maybe I'm out of my element, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But it just would be really nice if if the clients were more centralized. Okay, so they can these can't block. Okay, never mind. Aren't they talking about making a multiplayer client? I haven't heard anything about that, but I don't know that I'd be opposed to that. We could escape the Goyf, but honestly, just dealing them 2 here is so valuable. Alright, they're going for it. Can't block anyways. 2 poison. Not too often you get poison these days. Okay, they just go out the old-fashioned way. How's that going? I haven't really kept up with that. I feel like if they tried to make a client to combine the Moto and MTG clients, we just split into 3 clients instead. I don't know. I would just like, this is, I don't know, maybe just asking for way too much, but My dream is just one single client that has the best of both worlds. Dual Commander's fun. Cool. I think I'm gonna shuffle away the Thoughtseize, try to get to land 3 here. It's pretty nice with the Ketramose, but we already got 2 removal spells. 2 on the bottom. So I think what I'll do is just Surveil again this turn, try to Fatal Push their play, then probably tap out for Ketramose, then start getting that online with Emperor, and hopefully some more top decks like Strategic Betrayal and Trawler. Is High Noon for cutter decks? Storm is also pretty popular, but I do bring it in against the cutter decks. Sad Preordained, no second land. Mutagenic Growth, 0 mana, Surveil 1. Resolves. Pay 2, 0 mana, 2 life, Surveil 1. Ah! So good, you gotta do it again. MTGA and MTGO have such different monetization. IDK how they could combine them without upsetting people currently playing each. Well, that is a great point. I feel like you could figure out a way that's just very good for the consumer, but I agree that's unlikely to happen. I'll say this. I never like making like the that's unlikely to happen, so don't even think about it kind of arguments for companies. Like I like to advocate what they should do rather than like, oh, that's realistic. You know. I don't know. I feel like I try not to make excuses for them if I can. So I'm going to leave up the adapt here so I can play around this lightning bolt. All right, well, not much of a game. Going to game 2. Purge is in, High Noon in, Ending's in, and then my tentative plan is to just cut Dauthi Voidwalker. It's kind of weird to leave in all these Thoughtseizes, but they between iterations and Steel Cutters, they have got a pretty good amount of targets for them. Honestly, maybe I'll play 1 Duress over the 4 Thoughtseize just because, like, it's weird because, like, also, like, a good plan against Prowess is to restrict the number of threats they have in play. But life loss does add up, and the main things you want to target are non-creatures. We'll see how much that punishes us. Okay, opponent's on the bolt to 6. Yeah, Strategic Betrayal was really like the enabler that I think allows this deck to be possible. I probably should have harped on that point a little bit more in the deck tech. So I'm going to go and Bauble them and myself before I Thoughtseize. So I can know what they're drawing and what I'm drawing. They're drawing a Steel Cutter. We would rather that be in their hand than on the top of their library. We're drawing a Trawler to maybe help enable this Ketramose. They have a second Steel Cutter, so I guess I'm taking this one. The Thoughtseize bug is so powerful, it occurs even before the Thoughtseize resolves. I like cutting Seize against aggressive decks because life loss, I guess Voidwalker can't block. Yeah, Voidwalker is just, you just never want to play it, basically. And Thoughtseize, like, you know, in theory, taking Steel Cutter is good. Worse against double Steel Cutter. We Surveil first. Like, I agree that neither neither the Thoughtseizes or the Voidwalkers have been very good this game, although it would have been very good if they didn't have a second Steel Cutter, but better than Dauthi Voidwalker would have been. Should we have bobbled herself before playing land to fetch the top of our library? So the problem is, I'm always wanting to Thoughtseize there. I'm always wanting to Thoughtseize turn 1 to try to take a Steel Cutter. So like I think there's no card I could see on the top of the library besides maybe High Noon that would make me comfortable just saying no to the turn 1 Thoughtseize. So like with that eliminated, then I just want to bobble each other to have the best Thoughtseize I can. I feel like you want to reverse the IOK and Thoughtseize counts. I think that there's just way too much Eldrazi and Titan and Belcher for that to be true. We also have like a good amount of main deck life gain. Would you ever hold Bauble to turn 2? You could, but I think it's more important to try to draw something to do turn 2. But you could do that. So I'm down to 8. Pretty sure we're gonna slam a Trespasser, target the Lava Dart here. They did keep a card on top. Pretty good card. Do you enjoy playing Dan Dan? I've only played it one time. It was fine. Maybe, but okay, hits the setup cards for those decks too. Not as impactful, I know. I think it's just kind of a non-starter for me, but maybe I'm too old school. Well, we certainly really hope they can't play a second spell. Did I think about cutting the Thoughtseizes at all? Post-board? Yeah. Pre-board, again, like, your matchups against Belcher, Eldrazi, Titan, Storm, obviously you can play Inquisition. Yeah, all of these matchups get so much worse. Okay, they go Scalding Tarn, and then they play the Bauble, which we're pretty dead to. They can even force a chump block if they just don't attack with the... If they don't move the Steel Cutter over and just attack. But they might just auto move over. Yeah, I could maybe play some Dreams of Steel and Oil, or the... I guess you wouldn't want to do the other new one. Yeah. They do see the line. We're going to game 3. Yeah, like, I did consider it, but again, the Dauthi Voidwalkers I just think are worse than the Thoughtseizes. It was nice to see you in the last Ristic Studies video about the 100th Optic Cube. Oh, I didn't even... That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of Ristic Studies. I didn't know I was in a video. That's great. Okay, painful hand, but keeping. Sir with the 51 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They used some clips of me and Jesse commentating. Hopefully none of the unhinged ones. I was really trying to be as entertaining as I could. That's awesome. Okay, preordained. Would you consider more high noon in the sideboard to get fewer Thoughtseize this matchup? The thing is, like, it's like they have really big diminishing returns, right? Like the first copy is really good to bring in. You never want to draw a second copy in this matchup. Against Storm, you're okay drawing it. So you could maybe play one more, but I don't think I'd play more than one more. The 100th Optic Cube was really fun. I didn't get to play, but I did the commentary on it. So they suspend a show off. Not too surprising. A land would be nice so I could like purge a Steel Cutter and push the show off. Gonna graveyard the Bauble. Found our land. So hopefully we get to... I mean, we should be able to at least kill the show off and then untap and slam a Trespasser. Like, I mean, hopefully they just didn't draw a Steel Cutter, of course. They do still have the Bauble in their hand. Their hand is... this is plotted. They have the Bauble. They have 4 mystery cards. So none of them are Steel Cutter, which is good news. Could do kind of a risky maneuver here. I do this against Titan a lot, where I F6 while they're searching for Titan, so it looks like I have nothing, and then I un-F6 to try to make them play more into removal spells. I kind of view this similar to like using your body language at tables to try to bait out pump spells and stuff. Not gonna happen that often, but I think it's kind of fun to try to use those kind of real life bluffs in a digital setting. What's currently my best path to the Pro Tour? Via Magic Online through the box series, which I haven't been grinding very hard. This year I've made kind of a conscious decision to not tournament grind, where I have a lot of other personal projects I'm working on, and I'm getting married, and so it's just, is it really in the budget for me to travel to a lot of big events? And I've got other things I want to be focusing my attention on. And so I'm hoping that I can get back into the Pro Tour grind soon. but it just isn't my priority at the moment. I think I'm graveyarding this where we could escape it later potentially. Yielding till blocks is safer. Yeah, it's just a bit slower to do that. So hopefully, yeah, I'm really hoping next year I can tournament grind more. Between game design and trying to get the first draft of my novel done and planning the wedding and exercising every day, it's just not in the time or the budget this year, unfortunately. But I'm still gonna be playing like some showcase challenges, and maybe I'll get lucky and spike one of those events. So there's a steel cutter. Thankfully, we've got the purge. There's another Bauble. We don't know any cards in their hand. Plus streaming. Well, yeah, it's like, you know, streaming is my career, and like I'm still doing what I always do, which is building decks for you guys. That's always the goal, is build decks as well as I can. But like I for a long time I viewed like tournament grinding as like a separate hobby from streaming. I know that they're related, and if I'm doing well in tournaments, like it does translate better to the stream. But like the way I engage with the game at the moment is I'm trying to bring 2 different decks to the stream every day, either like new decks or updated builds of old decks. And I'm trying to give you guys like maybe like 2 or 3 streams of refinement and then move on and build something new. And that structure isn't very cohesive for spiking tournaments. Because they discarded a lava dart to the ward here. That structure is not great for spiking a bunch of tournaments, but I do think it's really good for the stream. Yeah, that should work, weirdo. So you're gonna have 3 cards next turn after they crack the Bauble. So quite a lot of cards. Emperor of Bones it's pretty interesting, because this lets me just go exile the lava dart and purge the token, or purge the steel cutter. I think I'm going to graveyard it, because I can also just Strategic Betrayal, which exiles the lava dart if I don't find a land for the Trespasser. Although I did find the land for the Trespasser, so we're going to go purge first, just in case they have mutagenic growth. Speak for yourself. Having a well-rounded understanding of the format gives me quite a competitive edge. Well, it's just different for the process of tournament grinding is different than the process of creating decks for the stream, where like to prepare seriously for a tournament, it's like a lot of dedicated playing, like 2 to 3 decks and fleshing out the sideboard plans and getting like little tech that you're hiding from other people. It just is a different experience, at least how I like to prepare. Okay, I'm gonna play the Trespasser. I of course, me playing Magic full time helps, but it's not like I'm not here doing a process that's very similar to serious tournament preparation. What I'm showing you is basically the first step of tournament preparation over and over and over and over again, which is exploring different deck ideas. And so I like to give you guys these tools to explore. They top decked an iteration. That's devastating. I like to give you guys these tools, but it's just not my big priority, I guess. Dude, iteration top deck is so gross here. What do you think is the best way to prep for a tournament? Well, I described this, but like I think you want to like narrow your deck selection down to 3 decks when you're a few weeks out. Spend time testing them individually, ideally with other players rather than Magic Online. Other players is definitely the best. Record the data for those decks. Understand the win rates and the losses. Try to tune as you're going, but just like record the matchups, record the win rates against those matchups. Narrow your deck down to 1 deck. Play that deck non-stop for like a full week, continuing to record your data, recording your sideboard plans, talking to other people about your sideboard plans, your plans of the matchups, and they hit a Bloodstained Mire here. They play a Slickshot Show Off, which is really scary. Now they are at 7 life. Oh my gosh, they can attack? Well, so if they have mutagenic growth, this is 5, 8. Yeah, it's lethal if they have mutagenic growth, so I have to block. Because it's 8+3 from the monk token. Wouldn't it be interesting to make a tournament preparation project or too repetitive? I mean, so one thing is you could do anything in life, but you can't do everything. And as I do think that would be kind of fun. But I also really enjoy doing what I do and how I do it. And if I did that, I would be sacrificing the stream. As it is at the moment, I'd just be, doing it differently. But there's only so many hours in the day. Okay, so we need my opponent to top deck a land or a creature. Ideally a land. I guess a steel cutter kills me. So I'm exiling land, sorcery, one of my 2 instants, and one of my creatures. My Goyf is still a 5/6. All right. Tough game. Isn't this deck low on removal and Ketramose triggers? How does Voidwalker work with Ketramose? Does the replacement trigger? Yeah, but only if it does on your turn, which doesn't happen as often. But Voidwalker is really good at letting Ketramose attack and block, which is very important. I think I'm going to keep this despite having double tap land on the draw. Affinity again is tough. It's one of our less good matchups or worst matchups. I drew the 3rd Backstreet. It's funny. I guess we're keeping this. Go discard spell next turn into Edict. Might just be way too slow though. Affinity is a tough matchup. We got triple tap land on the draw. Let's get some momentum back in there. The High Noon is pretty weird, but it's weirdly good. It's also very good against Imri. I didn't think about that earlier, but Imri, Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor, Bauble, Amber. It might just get them. Plus, the last time we played the matchup, it seemed pretty rough, so maybe just taking a high upside card like this is good. Which I'm an Inquisition, I think. Thanks for your answer. I thought of this part of the stream for the special event, but I could totally see why it'd not be interesting or good for your really nice stream. Yeah, I agree. I mean, when the Pro Tour was going on, that's something I did. So if I qualify for a Pro Tour ever again, then I would be interested. But I think for RCs, it's not quite exciting enough. But yeah, but I think it'd be on the radar. Definitely not a bad suggestion, of course. I've been playing with the idea of main board Ashiok in these rock decks. Self-mill, Graveyard Hate, Stack Speed sounds kind of good. There was a deck we were playing recently that really liked the self-mill when we boarded in the Ashioks. Am I going to Indianapolis? I think not anymore. The friend I was going with bailed, and my bachelor party is the weekend before, so I think I'm sitting out, unfortunately. I might still YOLO and go. Okay, well, thankfully that's a Lantern and not an Emery. Any plans for Houston or Vegas? When is Houston? I'm not going to go to Vegas this year. I don't like to go every year. The drive to Houston is miserable. I'd probably take a bus if I go. I guess that's 2 cards in exile. Going to Vegas streamer. I was in Vegas last year. It's a lot to go every year. What about Red Belcher? I like the Red Belcher deck. Houston not till October. Well, I'm getting married in October. This might be a stretch. Okay. This is 3 cards in exile. I think I like targeting the portable hole to restrict their affinity a little bit. I may also like draw a different land and get to use the Trawler, which is kind of nice. Also, maybe actually exiling from my own graveyard was better. Also, if they crack the Bauble, I draw a card. They don't crack the Bauble. And before Min might. Okay, so there are 3, 4 cards in exile here. Wait. Oh, I missed the Bauble from my yard. Great. I can't cast the Kappa because it got exiled to the Strategic Betrayal, not the Dauthi Voidwalker. That was a great Strategic Betrayal. Never mind, I thought Dauthi stole everything. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. They grab a Lava Spur Boots. They play a Mox Opal. Go to game 3. What do you think about Kishel Skimmer, Life from the Loam? Well, Life from the Loam is not a very good card. So, I don't know. I only ever play Loam in Seismic Assault decks, basically. October 17th, 19th. I guess I could technically go. That's the week before the wedding. Probably not, huh? What about Ketcher, the Mono Black Eldrazi? This deck started that way. The mana was pretty tough. I was mostly splashing Ketramose off of like 2 basic planes, which was not super ideal, I guess. I think I have to keep this, and I think I'm putting back the second Bauble so I can have, hopefully, land sorcery, artifact, and instant for the Goyfs here. Yeah, I'm not gonna go to Houston. I was joking. I know it's it's not in the cards. No pun intended. I was playing Bloodchief's Thirst in the Skimmer deck, and I do like that card, but I think the Prismatic Endings mostly replace it here. So I think I like taking the Bauble so that either they can't Thoughtcast next turn, or if they draw a land or 0-mana artifact, they can't Thoughtcast and hold up the Rebuke. Okay, I shuffled away an Emperor, and then I drew an Emperor. Oh, sorry, I forgot the Moonsnare prototype gives them the extra mana. I don't know how I wasn't counting that. Then they draw Opal, but it looks like I can resolve my Goyfs. Maybe I'll touch top deck Stony Silence. Guess I don't have my powers anymore to summon cards. I just don't see people playing in Blueback Frog, which seems weird. I think it would be good in Frog. Like, Frog really struggles from just having a lack of removal spells. I'm also liking this Moonsnare prototype, too. Don't love that. So I'll definitely cast Emperor main phase 1 to try to bait the Rebuke and then grow the Goyf. Why would it be a bad idea? It takes like a couple days. Well, I feel like it would be really shitty for me to, like, there's a lot to do the week before the wedding, and it'd be really shitty for me to be like, later, babe, I'm going to Houston. You take care of everything. Call me when the wedding starts, you know. I'm just gonna have too much to do. Bad way to start off the marriage, probably. Kind of hoping they have another rebuke that I can trade for one of the pushes. Don't think this does enough. Plus, we got Stony Silences in our deck to draw into. Although I guess if I could just blank the rebuke, that's probably better. Yeah, also I'd have to go to Houston. Would you consider Esper Citadel and the Nethergoyf spots? You could run a Relic package. Relic Ketramose is just so good, but so much change with Nethergoyf. Well, my thinking is that Boggart Trawler and Strategic Betrayal in combination with Dauthi Voidwalker, Emperor Bones means you don't have to play Relic, and Relic is not that well positioned, you know. Okay, that does not grow the Goyf. Right now, the Goyf, this is only a 5/6, so I can get in. Also, we can top deck Strategic Betrayal! Come on, come on. Okay, we'll take that. Second best top deck. Would have been nice a turn ago, although they still would have been able to play the Kappa Cannoneer. And so yeah, this is kind of like, even I would say the whole idea of this build is that building this deck in this way allows us to not have to play Relic of Progenitus in the main, which is again just not a card that's well positioned in my opinion. But obviously, like starting off the Shadow Spear is a really big game here too. So I think this is going to get rebuked, which is okay. Lambo with the 5-pack. Thank you so much. So this does turn Ketramose online because there's a Goyf under the portable hole. So I think, like, obviously if Relic becomes good in the main deck again, then main decking Relic becomes good again, but I think we're a little bit far away from that. Okay, so in my yard there's 2 more Emperor Bones. So I can go, assuming this doesn't get rebuked. Okay, they saved the rebuke last turn. Toxic Deluge on top. We've got Strategic Betrayal. That we had a crazy betrayal against Kappa last round. Alright, big draw. I guess Nethergoyf is there to be Relic since we're 2 colors, since going Mardu Esper lets you have Frog Phoenix. Yep. I think comparing Nethergoyf to Relic is a little weird, but I think I agree with the rest of what you're saying. What about Flare of Malice? Flare is only good if you have like Supplier, Bloodghast in your deck. You need good things to sack to it. All right, we win. Probably was wrong for them to like not bluff Dispatch, but pretty minor. I'll take a win against Affinity. That matchup seems pretty tough. So do you have a land here? Rock Archetypes are my favorite, but Eldrazi and Boros always seems so rough. Well, I think playing Ketramose, Nethergoyf, Trespasser in the main, it should make things pretty good. Like all of these cards are just like... Goyf, surprisingly, is just one of the better cards against energy. Yeah, so here's the Grixis Sim build. It's also in the Mox field. I decided to play Thoughtcast over Expressive Iteration because it flips Tamio and is, oftentimes going to be 1 mana. I'm not 100% sure that that's the best move here. Okay, I'm going to keep that since we're up against energy and it's very good against them. Is Arcanist a good card due to a strong lack of graveyard hate in the meta? Maybe. I do think Arena of Glory Dreadhorde Arcanist is kind of cool. But it's not a card I'm super clamoring for. I know we had some good success with it not that long ago. I'll play an Arcanist deck again at some point. Any interest in trying the new Tarkir 1-drop equipment in Hammer? Yeah, I've got some interest in updating Hammer, although I know some people have done it. I haven't tried the 1-drop equipment that gives Hexproof from monocolored. I do think that card is pretty good at the moment. I do think that card's pretty good. Oh, sorry, I meant to Thoughtseize. Has anybody tried that card in Domain Zoo? I'm out of the loop why this is called Rock. For me, Rock decks are just any like black-based mid-range deck that are really focused on discard spells. That's just what Rock means to me. I think Dak Faden has. Do you know how that went? Should have been able to trust Dak to play all the Domain Zoo variants. Alright, so I'm going to push the Ajani so that they can't Thraben Charm my Trespasser. If they drew a Galvanic Discharge, this is a little bit awkward though. They can't flip it with Thraben Charm. Oh, they can. Sorry, I totally thought it was only opponent's creatures. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize this was a legal play. So I guess I should have main phased the push. So Magic Aid's video, Dragonfire Blade or whatever it's called, is pretty good. It's playing Fervent Champion as well. The line was powerful, although a bit boring. I do miss those old Fervent Champ decks. Okay, it's a good draw for them. Discards a plains, 2 energy in the pool, makes a cat. You know, with no red permanents, this doesn't hit quite as hard. Alright, so we're going to play Shadowy Backstreet this turn, keep a Trespasser on top, play a Ketramose, and set up to just Trawler, kill the Ajani, draw a card next turn. Plays an Arena of Glory, makes a cat. Oh, I guess if they left a cat back to block, then we couldn't offer the kill of Ajani here. Turn 1 Leyline Ragavan, turn 2 Blade was also very good. Yeah, I believe that for sure. They have a spell, but Thraben Charm and Discharge don't really do anything. They kill their own Ajani for the life. Wow, that's a gamer right there. Cool line. So they have no energy in their pool. They just top decked. Kind of seems insane to do. I mean, I think it was okay. Like, denying 4 life matters a lot here. I agree that they don't really have like top decks that get them out of this. But I mean, like maybe a Spyro could be it. But I think just simply using the Galvanic Discharge to deny 4 life seems worth it. Also, I'll say this. In league testing, taking lines like this is really important. It's really important to just take the weird line. If you're unsure that it's good, just take it and like see how it plays. And in this way, so when you're in a tournament setting, you can like understand like how relevant this is. Denying 4 life, but they could have just killed the Trawler and swung in. That's true, but that's also it's still less life, right? Because like they can hit me for 2 with the Trawler now and put me to 1. Or no, sorry, not 1. I subtracted 4 more life. But if I was at 11 here and then they kill this, I'm just going down to 7 instead of 5, which is not maybe the biggest deal ever. Also, getting the extra energy is kind of nice. I'll also say it's like a very tough position for them here, no matter what. So taking potentially the high upside line, I respect it. Hey Spike, you mentioned Trespasser can't go and Ketramose due to too many 3-drops. What changed? Almost certainly like the deck that we're talking about. I feel like we were talking about Esper Ketramose, like Esper Ketramose Unearth. And like in that deck, we're talking about how they do another discharge. So like this line unequivocally worked out pretty well for them, right? Yeah, but in that deck, we're talking about Esper Ketramose, I thought, where the Oculus is better 3-drop than the Trespasser. And so that's too many 3-drops there. Adding Portent of Calamity to Wastegate Battle Mage. I like Battle Mage a lot. I think in general, there's a lot of like wiggle room you have in the Eldrazi deck, and that seems like a nice direction you could go. Okay, I mean, I'm definitely happy with them flipping the Ajani because I can just attack it. If they make a blocker, I can kill it. If they plus it, I can kill it. Okay, so if I send both of the Ajani, there are no creatures in graveyards, but I could Inquisition my own Ketramose to stay at 6 life when I graveyard Glutton. Oh, sorry, 10 life. And that's pretty relevant so I don't die to a Flage. Worse, it gets a Static Prison, but their life total is pretty low. And I drew a relevant card too, which is obviously nice. I do think attacking the Johnny is better than attacking them, despite them being at 7. You think Trespasser's been something Kaya? I hate Kaya. That card sucks. I played against it recently and it was pretty unimpressive. It is like really annoyingly good against some things, but I just don't think Kaya is good. I do think Trespasser's better than Kaya because Trespasser is really good. Okay, they top decked another Ajani, so I guess we're in the same holding pattern for now. We want to be able to attack and kill the Ajani. Although what's good about this is we get this graveyard or this Trespasser back. Am I attacking them? So I'm gonna go to 10 here. I'm gonna have 3 block. Yeah, I think because I have go to 10, block, take 4, down to 6. Yeah, it should be fine to attack them. A single Ragavan kills you if you attack them? No, because I have the Static Prison and the Goyf, and I'm at 10 life too, so just the Goyf would stop that. Very cool game. Do they have any discharges left to keep the prison alive? They do, but if they draw discharge, it doesn't really matter because the Goyf keeps me well alive if that's their top deck. Is it better to swing at Cat at a Johnny and then Trespasser Goyf for them and forces to block 1? The problem is that gives our opponent the top deck of Bombardment to kill me. I don't think Bombardment killed me anyways. Because we get to block 2, take 4, then get pinged twice. Yeah, it's only 6 damage. So to the chatter who said, I love rock decks, but I'm scared of the Boros matchup. Play a Trespasser build. Both this and the Sultai Unearth Skimmer deck have felt pretty good in these matchups. Or this matchup. So I'm bringing in these 3 white cards, and I'm going, I think, down 1 Voidwalker, 1 Thoughtseize, and another Voidwalker. How does it? Because he loses 1 cat and Chump Block to live. So, but doesn't that leave him with 2 cats? And so you go Bombardment, Ajani, 3 damage, attack, sack the other 2. I guess it's not even 10. Okay. Well, good news, we couldn't lose no matter what line we took. Dr. Spectre, I'm a big fan. It's so cool to see you in the chat. I have been loving your Jokerless series on YouTube. I'm really excited for the 3rd episode. Cool to see you in chat. Hope you're having a good day too. Isn't that fun? Strategic only draws 1 card, mostly here to turn on Ketra. Yeah, when we're not playing Relic of Progenitus. Oh, sorry, this is the other deck. When we're not playing Relic of Progenitus, like you need Mass Graveyard Exile to enable Ketramose, so that's mostly Trawler and Strategic Betrayal, and I think it's really cool that Betrayal does that while like keeping the board cleared. And we also got Dauthi Voidwalker as kind of that, although it's a little bit less. Viewership is down. This particular project's fun for me. For what it's worth, that series is my favorite. And I don't know why it makes me so excited, but I really like that one. Okay, so drawing push lets me keep a card on top if I want. A Dauthi Voidwalker, I think I don't. I think I also kind of want to go Yeah, I think I kind of want to go Swamp Goyf here. It's a little weird. But I want to get Swamp in Plains just in case they have Blood Moon. I don't want to be super cold to that. And like, maybe I'm just exposing this to discharge kind of unnecessarily. But I also just don't... Okay, I should have minded more about them making a cat because I have Strategic Betrayal. So maybe that was actually pretty bad. So they make a cat. I draw another copy of Strategic Betrayal. Well, we're very likely just going to want to surveil this turn so we can try to untap and play Ketramose. And then hopefully do some betraying to enable the Ketramose. All right, well... Yeah, I think it is still more important to kill the cat because we have double Strategic Betrayal in our hand. It's awkward too because like the pushes are only answer to the Ragavan for now, but these just become so bad. Next on the Marsh Flats with the Ragavan, graveyarding a Bauble. Well, I guess we can Thoughtseize the Ragavan. I might also Prismatic Ending the cat, as embarrassing as that is. Our mana efficiency is pretty down. Although, the problem with Prismatic Ending the cat now is that if my opponent just plays Flage next turn, then I kind of need to Strategic Betrayal to exile the Flage, and they seem pretty likely to play the Flage next turn to set up for the escape, so I'm going to decide to not use the Ending. Ending the treasure token is also kind of an interesting thought, though. How am I not drawing any lands these games? It's been pretty common so far. Ragavan did exile land. Yeesh. So that's their best top deck possible. So they discard Thraben Charm. They can go land bombardments. I do think we misplayed this game by just not waiting until the Goyf was big enough to dodge the discharge. But even with this, like they exile a token, and then next turn they hit me for 4 down to 7, and I'm effectively at 4. With their ability to sack the creatures. Although I can just top deck a land and have an attacking and blocking Ketramose online. But they drew a Flage, which is lethal because that's 4 damage. We just calculated we'd be going to 4. Go to game 3. And late was lost 2. We also a tough one to prowess in 3. Might need to main deck some Prismatic Endings. They could be better than the Inquisitions right now. Like they're pretty good in like most of the matchups where you want discard spells anyways. High Noon has low-key been pretty good at my testing for Boris for what it's worth. What deck are you playing? Okay, gonna keep our 7 here. Nice hand. Oh, sorry. I know every person in our chat is playing blue-white control at all hours of the day. I should know better. There's a Flage, which hopefully we can strategically betray. Pretty good hand. I think I'm taking the second Spyro. Sanctifier looks good answer to our losses while triggering Ketramose. Yeah, Sanctifier on the board could be good. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to set up here to... we go Ketramose. They play a Seasoned Pyromancer discarding the Flage. And then we can Betrayal to exile the Flage. Might want a Prismatic Ending. So, okay, so they're going to go... so when they go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard 2 more... Oh, no, it's better for me to push so that this gets exiled anyways. This will get exiled anyways. I think I'm going to not keep the second Betrayal. Do you board out the Goyfs if you're bringing the Sanctifiers? Yeah, I guess you would do that. Although I guess that's also a problem because Goyf is good in both those matchups. So they have nothing. So we go big Ketra. We don't really care much about Static Prison 2 because we kept the Ending. Using Ending plays around top deck Monkey, that's true. But I think because they're only gonna I guess now they're gonna have 7 in the yard because they drew fetch lands. But before then, it seemed like we needed like 1 or 2 more cards for the ending. But yeah, this like the Strategic Betrayal tech was exactly, I feel like it's so subtle, but like this is why you could now build this deck as a rock deck and not a flicker deck. Okay, so they're drawing into Johnny. I don't think I need backup Ketramose because I have the ending for a Static Prison. All right, so they're drawing a Johnny. If they just play and flip a Johnny with the discharge, they get to... Yeah, I think that's pretty okay because we have the ending. And then if we force the double block, we just ending the Johnny after they double block. What is rock? It's kind of hard to describe, but it's like these black based mid-range decks that are more aggressive than like the flicker strategies. They play discard spells as their primary form of interaction. Yeah.
Would you like some tea?
I already had a cup, but I'll take another cup.
Okay.
Give me that digestive awakening.
Awaken, digestive
I know.
system. Awaken.
It's been asleep for a little bit now. You know, also like if I title the stream Ketramose Black-White Midrange, everyone thinks I'm just playing like the Flicker Wisp, Velia, Overlord, Ephemerate, Solitude build. So I don't know if they thought this out that well. Save the ending for a Static Prison. We're playing Rip in this deck. I think if Rest in Peace was better positioned, you could, which is maybe... I don't want to be too reductive, but I just don't think it's that well positioned. But if it was, you could. We're also playing Dauthi Voidwalker, which I think is a lot better against the combo decks. And kind of doing a similar thing. Gonna be tough to lose this one. Alright, impossible to lose this one. Alright, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Let's keep our 7 here. Gonna be a painful 7. Last seen 2 days ago on Living End. Surely no one can play Living End for more than 2 days, though. A Shadowy Backstreet. I do not want to draw that, so let's... get a Godless Shrine and Thoughtseize. Oh. Okay. I guess. We've got a lot of graveyard hate. Graveyard's a fountain. So I'm definitely hoping I can Boggart Trawl before they could Cascade. Okay, well now I can't really play anything. I learned in my RCQ that creature-based frog deck is broken versus Living End. I pitched my hand turn 3 and my Living End was better than theirs. Poor Living End. Yeah. We draw a 3rd land. I mean, even then, just like the end would be kind of a pain. Yeah, I know. It's so crazy to run into Living End for the 4-1. It's interesting, though. So if I draw a land and I go like land Ketramose Goyf, and then I untap and I draw a Strategic Betrayal, although they don't even have 7 cards in their yard. Trespasser. Let's go to game. Let's go next game. So High Noon stops the Cascade. Let's bring that in. I don't hate Ashiok against Living End. Oh, also we can self-mill, so that should be pretty good. I don't know about Duress. Duress is They're almost all creatures besides the Ardent Pleas and the Force of Negations. I think I'm not going to... Let's leave the Duresses at home. I'm going to leave in 1 Fatal Push, 1 or 2 for the Endurances. I think Endurance is just not like beating me on board often enough for me to worry that much about it. I think our matchup should be pretty solid despite us our draw not lining up well against them game 1. Don't know about this hand. I think I'm going to mulligan the triple creatures, despite them having graveyard hate. Triple creature not the best plan in this matchup. And I really want to be surveilling creatures into the yard. Oh, that we missed there. Shatter Assumptions funnily strips all Cascade spells from their hand. Huh. That might have been good. Okay, so 2 forces, Generosant, Subtlety, Waker of Waves. So we'll take a force, of course. I think I'll play the Goyf, also get some pressure, get some extra pressure on them. Although this is pretty bad if they don't Subtlety the Goyf, Subtlety my Trespasser, and then top deck a Cascader. What can you do? Maybe have mulligan for Dauthi Voidwalker. We did go to 6. So they do cycle the Waker. The longer this takes... Uh-oh. That wasn't very long at all. Someone is taking your Wilderness Wreck King title. I didn't know I had this title. It's a good title to have. Looks like they're playing my exact 75. Yeah, I think someone told me that this top 8 of the challenge. I think this build was really cool. Okay, so they forest cycle. Thankfully, did not find the Cascader. What's their avatar? This is one of the charity events. I can't remember which one this is. All right, well, hopefully they don't have another blue card and another Subtlety. Okay, graveyarding any creature is so good here. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund's cool. Growing up, my best friend in high school had diabetes, and she definitely struggled a lot because of it. Mostly because of the American healthcare system, sadly. So they've got an Endurance. And we've got a Ketramose. I am so happy Violent Outburst is banned. Might have been better to actually go after the Bauble so I can leave a creature in the yard. They might force some negation this Bauble. It's funny. Okay, going to game 3. That was looking a little dangerous for a minute there. You said it wrong, Spike. I hate the Violent Outburst ban. Dude, Violent Outburst is a stressful card. It's like, either my opponent has nothing, or I can never possibly win. Let's find out. It's just a nightmare card to play around. It's also still so rainy. It's been so rainy this week. I tend to like wait a turn if I can in this matchup. Ooh, that's so nice. Graveyard to Ketramose. I like to wait a turn on the discard since like you need to focus on discarding their 3 drops. So if you see like 1 extra card, it's more likely they're less likely to untap and living into you. Yeah, it would have been nice to have a Voidwalker in a 7 card hand, but you can't really mulligan this either. You know, historically, Living End is very good against both Boros and Prowess. So I'm not too surprised that people are liking it again. There's also like it's like kind of a good formula for Living End. Low graveyard hate, good against Boros, good against Prowess. Okay, so let's take the Endurance. Well, actually, if they pitch Endurance in response to Thoughtseize, do I care? Kind of care. I think I care. I do think their deck is... Wait. Okay, so you activate Misrated Village in response to the Cascade. Okay, so don't draw a Cascader. Definitely don't draw Street Wraith into Cascader. Fuck. Or Machine is too good against... Oh, that's true. There are a lot of chance. Dude, Street Wraith has Swamp Walk. Okay, there are no cards in exile at the moment. Alright, Living End. Alright, cool. 3-2 our league with Ketramose Rock. I do think this is a... Like, if you're looking for Ketramose, this is, you know, kind of what we do on the channel, right? New tech, new direction, early drafts. Take it and work on it. I think that this build is doing a lot right in this metagame compared to, like, the Relic, Ephemerate builds. But for now, we're going to go pivot over to this deck. A lot of people have been asking me about Basim Steel Cutter, and I wasn't sure I exactly saw the vision.